First of all, good morning to Ming and Alicia. Thanks very much for coming for training. So, as you know, this training, we did last training about robo coupe, the stick blender, how to assemble and dismantle. So, last time, do you have any idea, you got it right, how to dismantle and assemble,
Yes.
Alicia? Okay, so we're going to go forward from the training, what we have done last time. Now we're going to be moving forward to how to use this. Okay, so last time was dismantle and assemble. So today is how to use this robo coupe in a proper, safe way. Alright, so let's look at this presentation here. Robo coupe stick blender, a step-by-step usage guide. So basically the purpose of this is to discover the art of using a stick blender effectively. This guide will walk you through each step, ensuring you blend with confidence and achieve perfect results every time. And how you're going to get this perfect result is by using it efficiently when you know how to use it. Okay. Can I ask you one question last time when we did a training? Is any one of you practiced how to use it in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the key component? Do you remember 3 key components we had in robo coupe, which I did mention in my training last week? 3 key components.
Sharp plate and the shaft, something shaft.
Shaft,
Yeah.
yeah. And a motor,
And blade and the key and
key, and obviously the blade. Okay. So when you say shaft, that means it includes the blade as well. Okay. Either you can put it into a 4 components, or we can say 3 components. When you say 3 components, that's 1, 2, and 3. So these 3 components. But when you say 4 components, that Alicia said blade. So that means blade will be separate. Blade, 1 component. Second, this head. The foot, and then the key, and then the motor. That's total 4 components. Okay. So pretty clear with everything. All right. So if I ask you a question, why do we need to make sure we use this appliance safely? What is the need for this?
to prevent electrical hazard.
Correct. Yes, because anything with electricity, and especially with a sharp blade, it creates a hazard. So in the kitchen, we are surrounded by many hazards, from electrical hazard to the chemical hazard to the physical hazard. Okay, so having a proper training is really important, and this is what we're going to be learning today: how to safely use robo coupe in your kitchen work while you're doing the work. And on top of that, this makes your work more efficient as well. So if you know how to use this, you'll be able to blend smoothies, you'll be able to blend soups. Otherwise, doing individually into those blender ones will take a lot more time. And these are more, that makes our work a lot more efficient and at the same time productive as well. So this is where we're going to, and the robo coupe, the reason we call it robo coupe is basically a French brand. That's the name. So that's why. I mean, at home you would have seen those small stick blender, Sunbeam and all. So this is more of a commercial purpose. And the company called robo coupe. That's why I will be mentioning this stick blender as a robo coupe blender throughout my training. Okay. So let's start from how we're gonna start learning to use it. Okay. So the first thing you have to do is, let's go with the next slide. Assembling your stick blender as we have done last time. How to assemble our stick blender. Okay. So as Alicia said, one of these part was blade. Okay. And the first thing is inspect part. Okay. Ensure you have the motor unit and blending shaft ready. So this is the motor unit and the blending shaft is ready. So last time we have learned how to assemble them together. Okay, so pretty much same one. So we put this inside, make sure it fits nicely in the slot, and these two keys are going to come together. Okay, so this is a perfect assembly of RoboCoupe, and it's ready to use. Okay. Second thing, align components. Position the blending shaft correctly with the motor units. So you must have seen this thing has to be positioned and aligned together, because this plastic bit belongs to the motor and the bottom one belongs to the footer. That's a shaft or blade. So they have to come together aligned. So that's aligned together now. Okay. So that means these are really important. If you don't align them properly, that will affect in your blending process, and that will damage the motor as well. Okay. Third, secure connection. Attach the blending shaft firmly until you hear a click. So like click, click, click. So that means these are all aligned together and this is ready to go. Okay. So next, you unwind these wires and only unwind as much you need, because these wires are actually 2 meters in length, and you really don't need that long. Okay, sometimes when you are closer to power point, you only need to unwind as much you need. Okay, because more wire will be hard to handle, it will tangle on your way. Okay, so then the power plug has to be powered into the electrical thing. Okay. Okay. So now it's firmly come. And then you have to submerge into the container, which will have a liquid in it, so to blend it. Okay. And then how to use it, make sure you press the top button, and this is basically for the safety. Okay, and at the same simultaneously you have to press the other button, which is inside this grip. Okay, so you have to press them together. But before you press, you would see there is a speed button here that tells you from 1 to 9. So that means if you need a slow speed, obviously 1 will be the perfect setting. Okay, so if you need more sort of smoother and more faster, then 9. So what happens is sometimes when we blend soup and all, we want to do like a slow blending, so it will mix up nicely, it will not make a mess. Because remember, if the fast thing you blend and if the liquid is full, there's a chance that it might going to come out. Okay, so obviously if it's hot, it will burn you. Okay, create another hazard. So what we need to do is we need to adjust the speed of this RoboCoupe. Okay, so I am putting this on number 3. Okay, so number 3, and then I'm just gonna pop into another slide. Okay, as you can see, this is submerged into a pot. Similar thing. This is what smoothie what we are making, and we have to submerge. So number 1, as I did, locate power outlet. Okay. Number 2, check cord integrity. Ensure the power cord is undamaged and free from fries. Sometimes the cords are tangled. Okay, so that's what you have to make sure. These cords are untangled and they are having a proper access to the plug. Third, insert plug. Firmly insert the plug into the outlet, avoiding any moisture. So make sure your hands are all nice and clean without having any moisture in your hand. Because as you know, what can happen? What can happen if you got moisture in your hand and you plug it to the power?
Electric shock.
Yes, so that's another one. What we were talking just now is electric hazard. So you might gonna get electrocuted or shock. Okay, worst to worst, you really don't want to be going to the hospital straight from the kitchen. Okay, so these are the 3 basic steps you have to remember when you plug in your RoboCoupe blender into the electric plug socket. And then selecting the right speed, as I discussed. Low speed is 1, 2, 3 mode. 1, 2, 3. Medium speed is 4, 5, 6. And then high speed, 7, 8, 9. So you must have seen all these numbers. Some of the robo coupes got only 3 speed buttons: low speed, medium speed, and high speed. And most of them got the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, as I said to you, is low speed, and from that is medium speed, and 7, 8, 9 is a high speed. Okay. So ideal for soft fruits, leafy greens, and soft ingredients. Medium speed, perfect for most vegetables, cooked meat, and thick batters. So that includes your soup, where the meat chunks are really big and they are hard to blend through. That's where you have to use medium speed. And the high speed, best for tough ingredients like any peanuts or cashew nuts, almonds, and ice cream or frozen fruits. Okay, because the frozen fruit, they are very chunky, they're icy. So they need a lot more faster speed, just to make sure this is very smooth. For that, you need to have high speed. Okay. Any questions on that? Let's move on to proper blending technique. So we have already plugged it in. We have submerged this into liquid. Okay. And then you press these buttons together, safety switch, and this is actually the on and off. Okay. And you press, and you make this noise. So just for a better technique, hold this from top. So you have a nice grip, because you've got a nice grip here. This is ergonomically designed, so you can have grip of this. And because in case if it's a hot liquid, if it splashes out, it will not come to your body or your hands or something. Okay, so you just turn it on, and you blend it. So move into a circular rotation. So sometimes what happens is, if you leave it on only one place, it might not blend you all the way through, unless you keep it for a longer time. For example, if I want to blend a soup, and I need the soup within 2-3 minutes or 4 minutes, so I have to do this mixing into a circle motion, just to make sure it evenly blends everything in the soup. But if I leave this one into one firm position, it will blend everything, but it will take more time. So instead of 5 minutes, probably it will take 10 minutes, but it will blend. Because as you know, the blending circulation, okay, so the heavy particles has to go in the bottom and the lighter one comes on top. So it will take some time, okay, but the things will get done. So that's one of the reasons we have to make sure when we're blending, move into a circular position. So that means you're covering the most of the base. So anything sits on this side will get blended, and this side, other side, also get blended. Okay. So submerge first. Lower the blending shaft into ingredients before turning on. Start blending. Turn on blender and begin with a gentle up and down motion. Adjust position. Move the blender around to ensure even blending of all the ingredients. That's what I was talking. Start blending. Turn on the blender. Begin with gentle up and down, not out of the container, but just inside the container. And there's circular motion just to make sure it covers all the bottom. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alright. So next, avoiding common blending mistakes. Make sure these things you avoid. So number 1, overfilling. So never fill this container all the way up. Okay? So always leave 20 to 30% of space from top. So for example, if you're filling into this, you have to make sure you fill till here, not till here. Okay, so the reason being overflowing of liquid. If it's hot, it will burn, but if it's cold, it will not do any damage, but you will end up losing a lot. Okay. Blending air. Keep the blending shaft submerged to avoid creating air bubbles. So when you blend this one, you know how we have to do up and down. Don't take it too high, because you don't want air to get incorporated into the liquid. Okay? Because the basic purpose of blending is to blend the hard chunks for minced moist or puree. You're not trying to incorporate the air. The only thing what we incorporate the air is when we whip the cream, because we have to incorporate the air into that just to make it more fluffy. Here we're not making the cream. Obviously this is not the right tool as well. Okay. Over blending. Blend in short bursts to prevent overheating of processing ingredients. Okay. So when you over blend something, because remember this is metal and it's a blade. Over blending will warm your liquid, especially if it's a cold liquid. You really don't want this to blend for 10 minutes. Because your liquid will start getting warmer, and this machine will get warmer as well. So all the heat from the machine will be going into your liquid, especially when it's cold. Warm is fine, because warm, even if it's warm, this is not going to do any damage. But try to avoid over blending. Okay? And ignoring texture. Check consistency regularly to achieve your desired texture. So make sure you check the desired texture. Okay? Next is scraping and finishing touches. So make sure after you take this off, take the wire, and after you take the wire off, okay, so like this, make sure you take it to near the washing station, okay, and then you open this blade, okay, and then the same procedure of dismantling. So make sure you wash, scrape, wash, clean with detergent, and take all these spare parts, wipe them and dry them. Okay, that's really important. Okay, so now what I want you to do is one by one, if you start doing this, and then I'll let me as well do all the steps. Okay, I'll sit in your chair. Okay. And if you can keep explaining as well.
Okay, just going to connect this.
Yeah, that's the first step. To make sure it's been aligned. Is it aligned?
It's aligned.
Yes.
It's aligned.
Now the second step.
Second step.
You can leave this robo coupe here. So and then you can plug. Yeah.
It's gonna plug it
Yeah.
to the socket. Okay.
That's fine. Then what's another step? Next step.
Next step is my food.
Yeah.
Liquid container. I'm going to
Dip straight into that.
dip straight in my liquid.
Yeah.
And it's not overfilling.
Yeah.
And this is the on and off button.
Yeah.
And
The
this
top
is the
one.
safety button.
Yeah. So you have to press both
And
of
then I
them
have
together.
to do the speed,
Yes.
needed speed, like
So what speed are you
medium.
gonna be using now?
I'm using medium speed
Okay.
to use for
Smooth.
soup.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you
And
turn
then
it.
soup.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And you take it out. Alright. And now the wire. Okay. You're taking the wire off. That's really important. We have to take the wire. Okay. And then after you take the wire off,
And then I'll take the
yeah, we'll wash it.
washing.
Okay. Cool. Right. Then thanks so much, Alicia. Now, Min, do you want to try? So, what are you doing first, Min?
Just put
Assembling
the assembling and then
the blade.
break and click it.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Now you're aligning it.
Aligning. Yep.
Very good.
And then I just
Okay. Connecting to the power cord.
on.
So, Min, can I ask you here, what if your hands are wet? What do you have to consider when you plug in into the electric cord? What do you have to make sure?
I'm sure I dry my hand
Okay, yeah.
first, yeah. And then I connect the power and then I
Yeah,
take it up and
perfect.
into the liquid.
Okay.
And then I just
What speed are you going to be
speed
putting?
the medium for
Medium?
soup. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I hold it and then just top button and
Yeah.
the middle button. And then put in the medium.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then take it out. And then unhook. Put the towel.
Just be careful. No, me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take this.
Yeah.
Unplug this one.
Yeah.
So whenever you're unplugging, always off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you take this wire off, and what are you gonna be doing next?
Yeah. And then next one, just
And wash it through.
push it
Okay.
to
To the washing area.
the area, and then
So how are you gonna open
do it
it? Yeah.
like this.
Yes. Perfect. Okay.
See? Yeah.
And you wash this through, and we will dry this one out.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So 2-3 things I want to say here, or I want to explain. Okay. So cleaning and storage. As I've seen you, both of you have demonstrated. Alicia, you want to come a bit forward? Both of you have demonstrated very well how to use this robo. Okay. So I will quickly go through with this important points again. If you guys got any question, just ask me in the middle. Okay. The first thing is, the step is to put this in, first step. Okay. And the second step is unwind the wire and plug it in. So when you plug in the wire, always make sure you are plugging in this way, not this while you're taking it out. Okay. Because what will happen is you are exposing yourself to electricity here. Okay. Sometimes the switches could be harder, but you can always send a report about that needs to be fixed. Okay. So always make sure you're holding from top, no, not from the bottom. Even when you are taking it out, never do this way. Okay. Because there's a chances that you might want to touch this metal and there will be electricity. Okay. Always from top. And then third thing is obviously how much of liquid we need to fill in this.
Less than, 70%.
Yes, 70 to 80%. As if there is no fixed amount, but since we have to leave some space on top, so I would say 20% to 30% space is a good way of avoiding the spill. Okay, so I would say 70 to 80% is the best amount of liquid you can blend. All right, and then that's the third thing. And the fourth thing is when you blending. Okay, so always make sure your blender doesn't stick into one place because you want to blend the whole liquid. So up and down and circular motion just to make sure it's an even blending. And then obviously if it's a cold liquid, don't over blend because what will happen is all the heat from the metal or body of the robo coupe will be going onto your liquid, which is chilled and cold. You don't want that to be warm. With the hot soups, that's fine. Not with the smoothies and all. Okay? And then you take this one out, and then the next thing what you do is let this sit somewhere, unplug it again, make sure your hands are right on top. Okay? You unplug it, and then you make sure the wires get wrapped around just to avoid any trips and falls. And then sixth step is to dismantle. Seventh step is to wash. I will not go into dismantling again because we have already done that dismantling training. But if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask me. Okay? So this is basically tells you how to use robo coupe safely and efficiently with this toolbox training. Okay? Now, one more thing is dry and storage. So after you wash, you need to make sure it's all dried and stored into the allocated place.
Yes.
Wherever. You can't just wash it with anything and put it anywhere because all these spare parts, they have to be assembled into this, but they have to be into allocated space which is close to the robo. Okay. So now I want you guys to just the next one. Yes. Okay. So now I want you guys to fill this one for me about the feedback and questions. If you got any question for me, then I'm happy to answer you. That's a feedback from you. Feedback of Alicia. You're gonna like circle these one.
What's that called?
Robo coupe. Okay. Yeah, thank you, me. I will take this one. Thank you very much. Okay, Alicia, you got it? And then the last thing, I will rewind everything what I have done so far. And if you got any questions, let me know. Okay, Alicia, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay. All right. What I'm doing right now is just reminding what we have learned so far. And obviously, if you got any question, you can ask me straight away. But it's just the same process what I've done before, but it's more like in a normal speed. Okay. So the first thing is you hold the robo coupe, make sure it's nice and clean, and then you attach the blade, which is called foot, or you can call it a blade shaft or something. Okay. So you unwind the wire, electric wire, make sure it's got enough length to reach to the electric output, and then you plug in with your hands and make sure it's plugged nicely. Okay, that's 100% done. And then you hold this robo coupe. Basically, this is your helping hand. This one holds a nice grip. If you're right-handed, obviously the right hand grip. Okay, and this left hand is just to support the weight of the robo coupe. Okay, and then you submerge into a liquid which is filled 70 to 80% of the volume which this container can hold. So I would say probably till here. So leave some gap to avoid overflowing of the liquid. Okay, and then you turn these switches. You set the speed, what speed you want. Slow, medium, or high. You set the speed, and then with your supporting hand, and you press these buttons together, safety button and the on and off button. Okay, and you do round and round, up and down for even blending. Okay, and then you stop. Right. The next thing is you put this one down and unplug the cord, and then you can put the cord back together. Take this into a cleaning station where you set up for cleaning up, for washing, and then you take this one out. This thing goes for a wash with the blades and all out, and with this one, wash it with a soapy detergent, wet damp cloth, wipe it, sanitize it, and dry it, and leave it on the section where this belongs. And this comes through the washing dishwasher. Make sure all this comes throughout to this blade. This sits in the dry place for drying. Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
and I hope this learning have given you more insight on how to use this robo coupe. Yeah. Thank you again. Thanks so much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.